Hi everyone, we're back at PowerGen International 2022. I'm Kevin Clark, Content Director for Clarion Energy, and I'm pleased to be alongside Chad Johnson. He's the Manager for Training Advisory Services at HSI. Thanks for joining us today. And just wanted to ask you to start, why is having a formal training program so important?
Well, Kevin, having a training program that it's formal, it's defined, and it's something that is managed at a high level. It's important for any industrial company because it's going to allow you to know that you're training your employees to the right level for the information that they need to know. It also allows you to know that you're training all of the things that they need to be trained on. A lot of us working in industry, we may think we know all of the tasks that our employees do, but it's very easy to kind of lose sight of the details. And a formally defined training program gives you that detail, and it gives it to you in a way that you can audit it, you can make sure that your employees are doing the training that is appropriate for what they need to do. And it also gives you an opportunity to make sure that the program itself meets any compliance requirements that you may be liable for.
And what are the key components of such a training program?
Well, to build a training program, the first thing you need to do is figure out what it is that your employees do. And that sounds like it would be an easy thing, but it's really, there's a lot more to it than that. Every employee that you have has different tasks that they're required to perform as part of their job, and it goes well beyond what might be in their job description that comes from HR. So the first thing that we would do is we will go in and do a job task analysis. And when we do that, we will take a look at every employee, what jobs do they do, what tasks do they need to perform, and develop a task matrix that as an employer you can look at and say, oh, this is really we've captured everything that all of my employees need to be able to do. Then the next step is we take that task matrix and we align it with different methods of training that would be required for a new hire to be able to perform every one of those tasks. It might be an online training, it might be a classroom training, maybe on-the-job training. All of those components are going to feed into building this training program. And so that's really the first step, is you need to define what does this training program need to look like and make sure that all tasks are accounted for. Once that's done and we've determined what are the methods of training for each task, what is appropriate for each level as your employees progress. You've built a defined program. The next thing you need to do is measure where your employees at today. And we'll do that through assessments. We'll build assessments. The type of assessment will differ based on the task. It might be a hands-on assessment, maybe it's just an exam. But we need to be able to figure out where your employees are in their knowledge and skill growth so that we know where to train them. You don't want to take an employee that already knows how to do a particular task and make them train again on that same task, because it makes them think that maybe they don't know what they do know. And so that's why we assess them, and we can give them appropriate training at the appropriate level for every task that they need to perform.
Chad, what impact can training have on the current labor challenges we're facing?
The current labor challenges are, they're unique and they vary from one industry to the next. And so I think where training fits in, it does change from one industry to another. In the most of the companies that we work with in industrial skills, the biggest labor challenges are the retirements of workers that have been in the same industry for somewhere up to 40 years. And as they retire, the companies that employ them are losing a ton of skill and a ton of knowledge, this institutional knowledge And they need to be able to capture some of that before those employees leave. And so that training program, it can help you fill that gap, so that as your older workforce retires and you bring in new hires, you've got some of that knowledge available. But another key piece of this is really recruiting new employees. Younger generations, they expect to be able to be hired, be properly trained on what they're expected to do, and they expect to be supported in their growth throughout the company. And when they see a formal training program in place, that they know from day one, this is my progression, this is where I start, and this is how I will move up through the company through training, that gives them confidence that they've made a good choice, and they will stay with you throughout that growth process, as opposed to an employee that might come into a company without a robust training program, where they don't really know what they're responsible for. They couldn't give you a good outlook of where they're going to be in 5 years, because there's nothing that's been defined in a defined, well-managed training program.
Chad, this was a wealth of information. Where can people learn more?
If you want to learn more, you can go to our website. It's at hsi.com, or you can contact us directly.
All right. Thanks so much, Chad. This is Chad Johnson at HSI. I'm Kevin Clark here at Clarion Energy here at PowerGen International 2022. We hope you enjoy the show.